So in the previous example of building a data type, we saw how to build a UI control that represents a text box, which is normally used for like string data type, where you can get input. So in this case, we can, one of the common controls that are also used is drop-down list. So we are going to build a custom data type to represent a drop-down list, and we can build that using HTML if you want to return. But we also have some helper methods that will help you to build that control in much easier and much simpler, much quicker. So let's go ahead and go to our example project, and I'm going to add a new class here. So let's add CLS example priority. So we have a new class here, and let's change it to public. And we're going to implement the DE or the iData type to interface since we're implementing. We'll have to put a using statement here to reference that particular interface, and then we have to also go and implement this interface. So I'm going to use this little helper icon, say implement. And so now, we can put what goes inside here. We have to return a string here. So I'm going to use some code that I have. So let me copy this and paste it and format this code a little bit. So I have a dictionary I'm creating, and I have low, medium, high as values, and I'm also going to show this as a list, and you can see that I'm calling a helper method. This helper method is only available in our DE data type DLL. So this is a DLL that we don't ship with our NuGet package, but you can always go to dependencies and add a references. You can browse in our bin directory of Flowrite, and then you will see the DE data types file, DLL. So you can select that and say OK. And with that, you can use this helper method called getDropDownListHTML. And so we pass in the data type context, the dictionary, and we can also pass in the default selection of the default value. So we're going to go ahead and compile this, and we're going to build is successful. And we're going to copy this to we're going to open the bin folder for this project. And we're going to grab our example data type DLL. So we have these two. And we're going to copy that and go put it into the Flowrite's bin folder. So in my case, the inetpub www.root cday workflow bin. And here we copied over my existing one. And once I have done that, I can now go ahead and go to my Flowrite UI and reload the UI. And we're going to go to utils and say auto detect. This will detect the new data type that we just created. So let me go ahead and auto configure it. And now we can use this data type on a certain input. So let's go ahead and go to our steps. And let's take our decision step. And we are going to add a new input called priority. And we'll call it select priority. And we'll select the data type. So in this case, it's CLS example priority. And we're going to also say required. And I'm going to go ahead and add that. Now, what we can do is let's go to one of our process definitions, and I'm just going to drag one of the decision steps. And if I click on this step and look at the properties or the inputs, you can see I have a new input called select priority. And I have a drop down list, and I can see the low, medium, high values, and low is selected by default. So when I save this, automatically the low value will be saved. I can also make a selection and save that. So this is how you build a drop-down list data type very simply using our helper methods that we provide. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you learn how to build another type of data type.